Hello, thanks for joining me. In lieu of a Zoom meeting this week, I'm going to be showing you a little bit of Piskel app and then kind of just go through a little bit longer video than we're used to. I am also going to be linking to a tutorial. This guy, Tip Toot, it looks like Tip Tut, but I'm guessing it's short for tutorial. I'm going to link to this video. He's using a program called Hexels. But a lot of the stuff that he talks about, he does one where he's drawing this character and then one where he's animating. So I'm going to link to both of them. Really good stuff, and he's a much better artist than I am. But I'm going to show you it fairly quickly in Piskel. So if you'd rather watch his stuff, go watch his stuff. Otherwise, you can stick around. And I'm going to be going a little slower, so this may be a longer video. Feel free to skip around if you need to. If I start dragging on. So I'm going to log in. I'm going to create a sprite. And by default, 32 pixels by 32 pixels. That's perfect. I'm going to leave it as is. And I'm going to start doing a bunch of layers. So layers allow us to draw in front of and behind other pictures or other things without actually erasing. Because by default, if I draw something and then I draw something different, those pixels, I erased them and drew over them with red. I can never, I could fix it pretty easily in this case, but I could never get that information back. It's gone. And so layers allow us to do that, where if I create a new layer, you see it kind of hides that layer. If I draw now, I have this layer and I've got this layer. And it kind of shows by default, the layers that I'm not looking at, it shows a little transparency. Over here you can kind of see the full normal, like it doesn't change that, but I have all this information, so I can create layers to do that. I'm going to undo some stuff. I'm going to create the first layer. I'm going to edit it and call it background. It's always nice to have a background layer. Sometimes you may not even need it, but it's nice to have one. And then I'm going to create a layer for each body section. So I'm going to have a layer for the legs, and we might have to rearrange the order of these later. I'm hitting enter. Otherwise, if you don't, then it doesn't save it. Layer for the body, a layer for the arms, and a layer for the head. Now, if your character had something like a hat or other things, like if a sword or something, whatever, depending on what you were doing, you may want to have a layer just for that item. So I have a background layer, legs, body, arms, head. That's going to keep things pretty simple. One thing you do definitely want to make sure is when you're drawing something, make sure you're on the right layer. So if you work on the legs, make sure you come over to the leg layer. Whatever. Let's create a background just for fun. And I'm kind of just making stuff up as I go, but I thought it could be fun to just kind of be a little normal. So if I do that, maybe I'm having some blue sky. And then I could even do layers for like different parts. Like if I wanted to have tree, I'm just going to do it all in one layer. Make things a little bit easy. You get to see my crazy drawing skills now. Some trees. Don't quite like that they're the same color. Could have some roots going through. So I have some neighbors that took down some trees, so I've got wood all around. And some leaves. I can change the size up here. I could probably even make circles, might be cool, but for now let's just do the pencil. I just kind of erased all my branches, but whatever. The idea is I'm trying to get used to what I'm doing. Then maybe I'll use this color picker to get this branch color back. Bring some branches back in. There. Best tree ever? Not likely, but we're going to be doing just fine. You know what? And since I'm all over here, I need a bright, happy sun. Something like that. All right. So I got my pretty sweet set. You can see the normal size here. Again, like normal, actual size is really teeny tiny. So here's my background. And let's just create a simple character on it. So I'm going to go to the body layer. Now, I personally don't like how much that fades out. So in the preferences, you can change that. So it says layer opacity. I can bring that up a little bit. If you do it all the way, then it really is hard to tell what layer you're on. So I do like this feature. I'm going to maybe bring it to about 4.4. Just so I can see. All right, so let's just start drawing some character. So some legs. And see, I just did it. I was on the body. So actually, instead of erasing, I'm just going to call this legs. And I'm going to call this body. So I was on the wrong layer. Once I start having less or fewer empty layers, that does make things easy. So I'm going to move that up. So legs, I got some legs. I'm going to switch colors just to kind of separate them out a little bit. So I have a body. I'm probably just going to make a big old circle. So I could use the circle tool. And I'm going to fill it. So legs, body, background. Cool thing is that none of this stuff gets erased. So if I decide, like I'm kind of feeling like my guy's just too tall, I can come over to the legs. I can grab the hand tool and just move it down. Do the same thing with the body. Maybe I'll have him be a little shorter. Nah, we'll start right there. Okay, go for the arms. Do something similar. I'll make them black since the legs are black. And I'm going to come in a little farther. Because I want my arms behind the body or maybe to be inside, I'm going to move this layer down. And that's actually going to move it. So the legs and arms are currently behind this circle to make it look like they're part of it. And so it really doesn't matter how, I mean, I could connect these arms forever. Probably don't want to do that. But just as an example, if I did that, you know, the body is going to cover that. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to undo that. So I got legs, arms, body, head. Let's do another, well, let's just do a square to be, a rectangle to be different. I'm on the head layer. I had to double check. I'm going to fill it, and then I'm going to just kind of tweak it a little bit. Maybe. That was supposed to be the nose, but it kind of looks like the mouth. Let's see what it looks like. I like it. Maybe it's because it's white. You know what? Why not? I don't like how the body's so dark compared to everything else. It just kind of looks like a big blob. So I'm going to make this body just some crazy bright color. I don't want it to be blue, crash at the back. Let's go like a red. And then I'm using the fill bucket. And you can kind of see, if I want to see the whole thing, here's the preview. Not to brag, but this is pretty much the best. Maybe I want to make this a little different. There is the dithering tool. I wonder. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, I know. I get it. Oops. I think the Dithering tool uses both of these colors, and it looks like if I go to the Dithering tool, it alternates. So if I wanted to give this body more of a round shape, make it look like it's actually round versus this flat circle, I could use dithering to kind of maybe darken these parts over on this side. I mentioned in the video, but dithering is instead of having a lot of different colors, like I could make a gradient and actually shade this with 30 different shades of red. Dithering is a way of minimizing your colors, and it kind of goes along with the pixel art style. And then if I was going to do this, I'd probably bring in a brighter color. Get this corner. Now the head's going to be behind this, but I can still shade this corner. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. So then for some reason, if the head were to get moved, maybe you got plans, but I still have all that information. That's the point I like. And you can see, like, it looks kind of weird here, but up here, it looks kind of cool. I'm going to finish this just a little bit over here. Yeah. Something like that. I could do the same thing with the head and the arms. I could give the arms a little bit of shade on the top. Maybe instead of dithering, maybe I'm just going to pick a brighter gray and paint the top. And left side. Do the same thing with the legs. Top and left side. You know what? The sun's over here. Whatever. If I was really thinking about this, the sun's over here, so I could actually, I should be making the top right side brighter and the bottom left side darker if I was working on accuracy. I am going to forgive myself, though. But while I'm here kind of brightening and darkening things, I'm kind of liking, I kind of want to just give some more details to this. Again, if you can go ahead and skip this if this is boring stuff to you, but I'm having fun. So I'm going to make maybe these parts a little brighter. I could also have a kind of a brighter section here. I'm adding details. So there's nothing really wrong to do. I kind of accidentally dithered that. No, I don't like that. Added more details. I'm happy. You could add 3 colors. You could add a bunch of colors. I'm kind of looking up here, seeing what it looks like smaller. I think it's fine. I could go through here. Color picker, get that one. Actually get the lighter color. Maybe add some, oops. Some just kind of colors up here. And maybe add an even darker brown on the trunk. Let's go here, make it even darker, and then, oops. Keep forgetting to go back to the pen tool. I'm not quite sure if it's an improvement, but I'm going to stick with it. I could also add more details. I could add a path to this. Yeah, let's do that. We could use the line tool. I'm going to make it some concrete. So some silver. I'm going to use some perspective to kind of make it look like it's coming towards me. Could use that to shade it in. I was going to draw a white line down the center, but that would make it a street. Might do it like a darker gray just to make it a little bit interesting. Whoops. Something like that. Looking up here, I like my guy, I like my character. Big, huge red body. He's like a strawberry that just grew arms and legs. I have not saved it yet. So, it does auto-save, but it is good to save often. Especially the first time, make sure that... So I'm going to call this Strawberry Man. You can make it public or not. I'm going to save to my gallery. And that, if you logged in with your school account, successfully saved, just to show that it is saved, and go to my gallery. And Strawberry Man. I'll go back in to edit it. And again, I have all the layer information. If I saved it as an image, it would flatten it and I would lose all this layer information. But I'm here. I've got everything. And that's kind of the character. So I'm going to stop there for as far as the character. And let's talk about animation next. I have all these parts, and the reason I separate them is because when I move things, I'm not having to redraw a whole bunch of stuff. So up here, you see I have the frame, and it shows just the layer that I'm currently on. You can see it changing as I change the parts. But instead of adding a new frame and starting over from scratch, which sounds horrible, I'm going to duplicate. And you could see as I did a new frame, this is flickering because it's flickering between what I was working on and this blank one. But if I copy, it's currently going back and forward through these two frames. It's just the exact same. So let's do something easy, and let's move the head up. So I moved to the head layer, I grabbed the hand tool and just moved it up one. And you can see it kind of bobbing up and down. I can slow it down. Maybe instead of... Maybe you could go left and right. So maybe he's dancing on a sunny day. I could go really fast and drive people crazy. I can go really slow. There is this thing, onions, which is really cool. Toggle onion skin actually shows you what the other layers look like. So if I didn't know, here is the imprint of the head on the other frame. So I can say, oh, I want it 2 over from that. And so that could be a really cool feature. You can just click on that to turn off and on. Maybe. So like if I could do the same thing with the legs. Move them up or move them left and right. What if I could move them opposite? I kind of like the idea of moving them up and down. Or maybe like if I want to make him look like he's walking, I could have one that's higher than the other, and then it alternates back and forth to look like he's walking. That could be a cool idea. So I think I can do that here. Selection. And then it says here, copy the selection, hold to move the content. So if I hold shift, I can just move this one leg. And then click away. Yeah. And then I select this one, hold shift, and move it 1 pixel down. Click away. I feel like I did that wrong. Because they're both the same. So what's going on? I don't think I... What did I do? Maybe I just didn't change the frame. This one is like this. Like this. So this leg I can move down. There we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I keep thinking of the white line in there to make it look like a road, but then I could actually animate the white line going back so that it looks like he's traveling forward. So the kind of animation is in the background too. One cool reason we have the background is this separate. So if I click on this A here, layer opacity, set layer opacity from 0 to 1. So if I change to 0, that turns off the layer completely. And now just with the background. So if I wanted to make one, if I wanted to bring this character into another program to edit it, if I wanted to create a game in Scratch, my 6th graders, you'd probably be doing this right about now if we were in school, of creating a scratch game. Sorry, my son's yelling back there. Creating a scratch game, we would want it without the background because we'd want to just be able to code it here. So to turn that back on, I'm going to go here. Got this. I don't have any animations yet with the hands. But I think for the moment I'm fine. I think I'm going to call it here. Remember that the more work you do before you start copying frames, if you find it like let's say right now I wanted to fix that tree. Well, I would have to go to every frame, which in this case is 2, but I've had students who've literally made animations with hundreds of frames. So the more you can keep it, the more you can do work ahead of time, and you can like copy and paste stuff to make it a little bit easier. But the more work you can do before you start thinking about animation, the better it's going to get, or the easier it's going to get. So here's my animation. I'm going to make sure it saves to my gallery. I could export this as a GIF. So export as a GIF. I'm going to export it at let's just do it at 32x. So it's 1024. So essentially we're going to fill the screen. This probably is about 1024. It might be a little bigger. But if I download as a GIF, I then can use that in other programs. So maybe you could make your Google icon this image. Or you could add it somewhere else. If you're going to put it on your blog, you'd want to export as a GIF so that you could upload that and people could see the animation. If you just save it as a single file, you could export as a GIF, or a PNG is going to be even better. So that's creating layers, using layers so I don't have to recreate everything. Animations with in different frames, and if I had enough time, if I wanted to put more work into this, I could definitely add a lot more. I could have him walking, I could have birds flying through this, I could have the sun rays kind of changing. Maybe he's whistling a tune so notes are flying out. So there's so many things I could do with more time. But this is just an overview. If you want to see kind of more, I would check out the other videos of this guy, Tip Tut. There's one video on him drawing it, and it's kind of just what I showed you, except he's got some different things. A lot of what this program can do, Piskel app can do, but there are some features it has that's pretty cool that it doesn't have. And then there's a whole nother video on him animating this. That's going to look way different, but the concepts are the same, of keeping the different parts separate and then animating and changing things to make it better. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are doing well.